So in this episode, we're going to travel to Naejangsan Mountain, one of the many mountain ranges in Korea. Then we're going to check into the Damyeong bamboo forest, a forest made almost completely of bamboo. Very beautiful place. And then we're going to take a fishing trip through Yeousu. These are some unique floating docks that you can stay on. And if that weren't enough, we're going to end up in Hamphyeong at a flower festival. They usually do this once a year. And just a beautiful place to enjoy some flowers. So many things to do today. I hope we enjoy them all together. These first few pictures, they come from the Damyeong bamboo forest. And I'm going to have a more complete set coming up later of just walking through the forest and what it's like inside. So this is just along the river. And this is just at the entrance to the bamboo forest. This building is kind of the welcoming center. And you just get some wonderful views from the top of this building. So these are some burial mounds you find as you walk around this area. This is how Koreans normally bury their families. So you see this dotted around everywhere. So after walking around for a while, we decided to have some lunch. And so this is kind of some typical food from the area. You have fish, which is very, very common. This is kind of like a seaweed soup in the black bowl. And by the way, those black bowls, a lot of times they serve just boiling hot soup. Sometimes it's just boiling like crazy. So that's just the way they serve soup. And in the top right-hand corner, you can't really see it too well, but that's like a bamboo container that contains kind of the local rice, which is very good and very interesting. The next few pictures that came, because I try to do these pictures in a row, this is from a fishing trip that we took. This is a little tiny village right near the ocean. So there's very traditional Korean houses here. I don't know how old they were, but you see a lot of the old style roofs very close together. A lot of times just a very short little narrow lane that connects them. Very Korean, very old Korean. So here's just a close-up of those houses. So you can just see how people still live, but probably lived 50 years ago. I find it very interesting. So here we are getting ready to go fishing. So this is one of the fishing boats. And this is on the ferry that we took to get out to the island where we're going to start our fishing. It says, Kukdong to Gyeongdo. Kukdong to Gyeongdo. I know that do means island, so Gyeongdo is the island that we went to. Now again, these are quite interesting. These are like floating docks. And so they look like moon houses or something. And they're just floating in the ocean. And you can still see it's very close to the land. So here's the dock that we left from. So if there's ever an emergency, I could just swim to that dock. Very, very close and easy. So here we are with the sunset over this kind of bay inlet on the ocean. So beautiful view of the mountains, kind of a neat view of the sun going down. So here's just a shot of the shoreline. So now we switch again. And I was just sitting in my office one day when I used to be a professor teaching students English here in Korea. And one of my professor friends who I teach just shows up one day for his lesson with me. And he says, let's just take a trip. Grab your coat. We're taking a trip. And so I said, okay. And so he took me and his son and he went to this flower festival. So the flower festival was in Hamphyeong, And it's just beautiful flowers everywhere. And this is a recreation of one of the main gates in Seoul. Very well known. This one's covered in flowers. So this is the real gate. Really sad story. The actual real gate was burned by this older gentleman. He was protesting something about Korea. So this is an ancient, ancient gate. I saw pictures of this from the 1910s and even before that. So a shame that this was burned. So this is just all the beautiful flowers overlooking the lake, overlooking the mountains. Just a beautiful spot. So here we have just many halls, all with these beautiful flower arrangements. Just a great place to be. Spend hours there. Now we're going to switch locations again, because I love just roaming around Korea, trying to see as much as I can. And this is the Naejangsan area. We had pictures, I think, from an earlier episode of the same area. So they keep popping up, but it's such a beautiful area. I have so much inspiration there that I took many, many pictures. So you can see it's all surrounded by mountains, and it's just kind of the entrance to the trails. That red sign in the middle says Yak, which means like a drugstore. So this is a beautiful pagoda on the lake. I think it's kind of a famous site. Just some of the natural areas around this area. And we have these cable cars that take you up and down along the mountains. Never done that. I probably should. So this is one of the monks at one of the temples there. And you can just see they're just normal people. So beautiful buildings. I love the bright, vibrant colors. So this is a very interesting building, very ornately designed. And that's a huge drum. Sometimes they have these huge logs they use to bang out the drum. And I think it's a call to worship at a Buddhist temple.